Sydney.
Hi.
My name is Holly. I'll be the physical therapist assistant student working with you today. We're going to be taking your vitals. So what that means is I'm just going to be checking things like pulse and blood pressure to see how your heart and lungs and your body's functioning. Does that sound all right?
Yep.
All right, so you just get to relax. The first thing I'm going to do is just check your pulse, so you can just relax there. What I'm doing is I'm locating her radial pulse on the thumb side of her wrist. I'm using my 2 fingers to place over where her radial pulse is, and then I'm going to utilize the phone and go ahead and assess how many times I feel her pulse in 30 seconds. Normally I wouldn't tell the patient, but I got 25. I'll multiply that by 2 and report her pulse or record her pulse as 50 beats per minute. I would not let the patient know I was finished with that, but I would go ahead and move on to assessing her respiration. So I'll either count her inspirations or her expirations for 30 seconds. And that was 8 inspirations, so I'll go ahead and multiply that by 2, and I would record her respiration rate as, did I say 8?
Yeah.
As 16 breaths per minute. Cindy, next I'm going to go ahead on and assess your blood pressure. Since we don't have the materials, we'll just talk through it. So I would make sure that Sydney's feet were flat on the ground, that she's sitting comfortably, that her arm is placed at about heart height. I would next go ahead and palpate the brachial artery. So do you have a t-shirt on underneath? Okay. Should I take, yeah. So you'll want to do this. Keep recording here. Okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and palpate her brachial artery, which is really easy on her, but I could always have her go ahead and bend the arm and try to find her biceps tendon. It'll just be medial to that. Once I find that, I'll place the cuff about 1 inch above the fold of the elbow, lining up the arrow with where I palpated her brachial pulse. Next, I would put the stethoscope on, and I want the earpieces facing forward. After that, I would place the diaphragm of the stethoscope onto where I palpated her brachial pulse, and then I would go ahead and pump up, using my dominant hand, pump up the blood pressure cuff to 200 millimeters of mercury. Then go ahead and release the valve to slowly let the air out. While I'm doing that, I would be listening. The first sound I hear, I will record as her systolic blood pressure. And the last sound I hear, wherever that pressure is, I will report as her diastolic blood pressure. At that point, I would go ahead, once I hear the diastolic, release the dial all the way, and then report her blood pressure as, for example, 110/70 millimeters of mercury.